Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're getting into something pretty universal, the experience of reaching the end of a really significant journey.
Right. And we're looking at it through a specific lens, Tarek Rahman's book, The Camino Within. He talks about the final 100 kilometers of the Camino de Santiago.
Exactly. So imagine you're right there, near the finish line of something you've worked towards for ages. What goes through your head? What do you feel? That's what Riemann explores.
And one of the first things he notes, which is really interesting about this specific journey, the Camino, is the final stretch from Sarria. Suddenly, there's a huge jump in the number of pilgrims.
Oh, right. Why is that?
Well, because a lot of people, they only walk those last 100 kilometers. That's the minimum you need to do to get the official certificate, the Compostela.
Ah, okay. So you might have been walking for weeks, maybe feeling quite solitary at times, and then boom, suddenly you're in a crowd for the final leg.
Exactly. And he mentions how that greeting, Bon Camino, which pilgrims exchange, it becomes almost constant, like a shared mantra. It really builds this sense of community right at the very end.
Yeah, I can imagine that, ever heading for the same spot.
Hmm.
But it's not all just communal spirit, is it? He talks about some complex emotions as Santiago gets closer.
Oh, absolutely. That's a huge part of it, this kind of emotional duality. You're excited, obviously, you've made it. But there's also this trepidation, maybe? A hesitation about it actually being over?
He even coins a term for it, right? The night before arriving?
Yes, the wake-up call night. That's what he calls it.
Okay, wake-up call night. What's the thinking there? What's the wake-up call about?
It's that stark realization hitting him and others he talks to that this whole massive experience, this bubble, is about to pop. You're about to step back into your normal life, your reality, as he puts it.
Hmm. And there's a tension there.
A big one. Because alongside anticipating going home, there's this really powerful feeling, almost a wish, that the journey could just keep going. Like maybe don't arrive in Santiago just yet.
That feels so counterintuitive, doesn't it? You've walked hundreds of kilometers for this goal,
Yeah.
and now you want to delay it. Have you ever felt anything like that, approaching a big finish line?
I think many people can relate, and Riemann digs into the why. He suggests it comes from this fear, this underlying worry that the purpose, the meaning, the whole feeling you discovered on the Camino,
The simplicity, the connection.
right, all of that, that maybe it's tied only to the physical act of walking and it'll just vanish once you stop.
Wow, that's deep. The fear that the magic ends with the journey itself. It makes you think about what we value more, the process or the destination.
Exactly. And he tells this little story, an anecdote about a couple he met who literally decided to turn around before reaching Santiago.
Seriously, they got that close and turned back.
Yeah. It sounds extreme, but it perfectly illustrates that feeling, that sort of nostalgia for something that isn't even over yet, or maybe a kind of regret in advance. He connects it to this observation he made elsewhere about elderly people wishing they hadn't rushed through life so much.
Wanting more time, wanting to savor it. So the closer you get to the end, the more precious the remaining moments become.
Precisely. It's almost like the awareness of the ending sharpens your focus on the now. You become incredibly present, trying to absorb every last bit because you don't want to let it go.
That makes sense. The finiteness makes it more valuable.
It's that paradox.
Yeah.
The imminent ending heightens the experience right before it concludes.
So wrapping this up then, what's the core message you take from Raymond's reflections on these final steps? What's the insight for us?
I think the main thing is acknowledging that tension. It's totally human to want meaningful experiences to last forever. And yeah, it's natural to be a bit scared about losing the purpose they give us when they finish.
But the author doesn't leave us hanging there, does he? He offers a way to think about that fear.
No, he offers some comfort. His final thought is pretty straightforward, but quite powerful, really. He basically says, don't be afraid for things to end.
Because,
as he puts it, endings just bring new beginnings. It's a cycle.
right, a reminder that closing one door opens another. So maybe a good question for everyone listening to think about. Reflect on a big project, a trip, maybe even a phase of life that came to an end. Did you feel any of that excitement mixed with reluctance Riemann describes? How did you handle stepping into whatever came next? It's a great reminder to embrace those new beginnings when they arrive. Thanks for digging into this.
You're welcome. It's fascinating stuff.